back from Alaska.
Yes.
Come me. Come Chris.
What's up?
So while we were out there, one of the Russians, or perhaps the Chinese,
Eskimos?
or perhaps
It was an inside job.
an inside job, like Martin Luther King
Whoa.
and the guy that killed Lincoln
Whoa. Whoa.
and Kennedy,
Yep.
was another balloon.
Two
There was two
UFOs.
Yo.
Two balloons.
They were doing. I tried to text you guys and try to figure out if you were safe.
No, you were killing the vibe.
Oh, my bad.
We was like, why Sneak gonna tell us we're gonna die? Like we're on vacation.
I was just saying, be safe.
Redman.
What
was
you
on
think we
alert.
gonna do?
Yeah.
I did not bring my gun.
He did not.
I was just saying,
So
Bob
they
and
were
we
a
make
lot
sure there's
there.
somebody in front of you. That's all I'm trying to
that's
say.
it. That's
We
true.
all saw the U2 Super Bowl commercial that was about the spheres in the sky. It said unidentified objects floating around.
So you think YouTube created all this for that
YouTube
commercial?
This is a huge marketing ploy.
Is it YouTube China?
No, U2, like the band U2.
Oh, you
Oh,
too.
you
Like
too.
Bono and all that.
If we know one thing about U2, they never gonna be against America.
That's true.
Now, without any further ado, you didn't know that? I knew that the second that they put them songs on our iPhone. You remember that?
Yeah.
I don't think YouTube's from America.
You don't think U2 is from America? Not YouTube, U2.
Yeah.
The band full of whites?
Mm-hmm.
Bono's Irish.
Oh, never mind.
What are you talking about?
We're back anyways. There was a lot of blacks in Alaska.
There was?
There's a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
On vacation or lived there?
They live there.
Come on now. They there. They had a whole section in the thing called Blacks in Alaska.
Really?
I didn't know if I was supposed to be offended.
So I'm saying, like,
I
if there's a section called Blacks in Alaska, are there really a lot of blacks in Alaska, or are they just imports for the...
I mean, what do you think? Like Kanye West and Jay-Z almost made the same song. They just switched out the word blacks and Alaska.
Go ahead. They were featured in the museum for Black History Month.
Anyways,
Oh, maybe it's just because you went there in February.
That too.
I don't think that's it. I think there's blacks in Alaska that ride reindeer and push moose. But without any further ado, my name is Kerbin.
I'm Sunil.
I'm Chris.
And today we have a special guest with us, the star of many things that are taking over Tubi, the star of many things that are taking over YouTube. Give it up, everybody, for Dwayne Wayne.
Thank you kindly.
Thank you so much for coming to the show and talking to the men on the internet.
You're welcome.
Now, tell us a little bit about you. Where you're from? What do you do?
Well, I was originally born in Kingston, Jamaica.
Hey.
Came up here when I was 7. I'm a writer.
Jamrock.
Yeah, Bob Marley. I'm a writer, director, producer,
Don't be racist.
actor.
Sorry about that. He just came to America.
So, like I said, I'm a writer, director, producer, actor. I got my own YouTube channel.
Okay.
Became a YouTube partner within 2 months.
Let's go.
Come on now.
So, what's that?
This is the applause button. Yeah, you get some applause right now. So anytime the yellow one comes off, it's the applause, and the red is some. We probably shouldn't have said something, so it's a beep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
All right. So
Why don't you plug, while we talking about it, what's the YouTube channel? What's the...
yeah, tell us about it.
YouTube channel, I got nothing but web series on there or movies or skits, something called Punjabi show.
Yes.
Little Indian guy.
Yep.
Saying my
Are
grandfather.
you the Indian guy?
Yes.
Oh shoot.
Oh, wow.
Okay, then.
He goes, oh my God, oh my.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
We've been asking him to do this for years.
What's the YouTube channel? How do they find you?
It's the real Dwayne Wayne 33.
The real
Not the real Dwayne Wade. The real Dwayne Wayne.
Yes.
Get it right. All right.
Yeah.
And I occasionally see you frequenting the shade room comments.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
What do I be saying sometimes?
Now you be in there like cracking me up.
What I say?
You be saying like one word. He'd be like, "No, that's facts."
Wild.
Yeah, nah, crazy.
Word?
Yeah. I'd be like, he knows how to market himself.
The shade room, man, they full of shit. Like, I see, for real, I see them post mad stuff, like retarded stuff. I sent them my shit. They just liked it. I was like, you bastard. Like, how you just gonna like mine and don't even post it?
They did like it though?
Yeah, but they didn't post it.
Well, how did you send it to them?
I sent it. I DM'd them.
Oh, they liked it?
Yeah, and they didn't even post it.
Wow.
I've been trying to FaceTime them for a long time. They never-
Nah, you gotta
if
get China
if
Lace.
You send them DM. They actually look at it.
Really?
But they just won't post it. They look at your numbers. That's what they do. If you got like high numbers following, they'll post it.
You know what you got to do?
Never mind. What?
Sex tape.
Nah,
That'll get
It
you
worked
where
for
you
Kim
need to
K?
go. It worked for Ray J.
Worked for Safari.
and he's still Brandy little brother. Everybody know man.
No.
Ray J creating his own like little niche now.
Yeah.
But I actually met him. And he was. I showed him my thing. He was like, "Yo, I don't do that type of work. I'm doing the reality show." So he was like, "Yo, take my number, take my bodyguard, somebody else creative number." He gave it to me, but I know it's Hollywood. They don't call you or answer the phone. So
That's true. Did you try them?
yeah,
That's good. If you said no, I would have been like, I don't know about that.
nah, they didn't answer.
So how long you been doing this stuff?
Well, I've been on this journey since I was like 7 years old.
Wow.
So I came in from Jamaica, and I found my gift at 7, where I just picked up a pencil and I started drawing. And the lady was like, "You did that?" And I was like, "Yeah." She said, "You know how to draw?" I was like, Just started it. She was like, "Keep going." And then I learned how to just look at things and draw them. And then I like a fan of a Ninja Turtles. So you know how they on show TV for like a half an hour.
Yeah.
So I used to watch them and draw at like a little 10-second. I used to just draw it really fast. And then my mom seen me doing that. She seen that I liked the Ninja Turtles. So she brought me the sheets. So that way I learned how to draw them better. Wow. Because I'm looking at the sheets, drawing them. Then I started making
That's
comic
what's up.
books. And then I learned how to rap. It was just,
Oh, you a rapper?
yeah, I used to.
Oh, okay.
That
What was your
was
rap name?
They
lie
call
to
me
us.
Blocker.
Blocker.
Yeah.
I like the way he said it with his chest too. He was like, "Yeah, they call me Blocker." Blah. Like that.
Yep.
He said, "You good."
What was your first comic book hero that you created? What was the name?
I never created actual something on my own.
Oh, okay, you were just drawing.
I was just drawing
okay.
a whole bunch of different
Sick.
characters.
What was your favorite comic book growing up?
Sonic.
Insert Chris. Insert Chris. No, I mean comic books. You're our resident comic book expert.
Yes, that's true. Science.
That's cool. And then, so what was the transition like from Jamaica to where in the U.S. did you go first?
We moved to New York, Queens first,
Got you.
and then after a while,
Jamaica, Queens.
I think so.
That's fine. You went from Jamaica to Jamaica.
Jamaica, Queens, yeah.
That's how I do.
So then they moved. My mom's moved to Connecticut.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I recently went to Connecticut, and I didn't expect to see black people there.
There's a lot.
a
There's
lot of
a
people.
lot.
That shit is hood, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
I saw that.
In
I
New
went to go
Haven?
get a haircut, and I almost got shot.
Yeah, what part you went?
The shop block.
No, what city?
I don't. I don't actually.
The
know.
worst place is New Haven, Bridgeport, Hartford.
Those are the worst places.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I done
ghetto?
seen girls get shot. I done seen people get their head blown off in front of me at a parade.
gosh.
They'll pick the body up
Wow.
and keep going.
There's good
Like,
parts in Connecticut too, though.
Yeah, like Stratford, West Haven,
Stamford.
People, West Haven's like right across the bridge. People will leave New Haven and go to West Haven like it's far. It's just across the bridge. Crime happening over here, but nothing really happened over here because it's like, more white people on the West Haven side.
I would always try to put a bridge between me. If I gotta be honest, make that bridge really big.
Right,
too.
right.
I get over there.
So what brought you from New York to California?
Well, I used to live in Florida. I went to college in Florida.
Okay.
When you come from the islands, you only go to two states first.
New York and
You go to
Florida.
New York and Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went to Full Sail University.
Hey.
And I took up film, and I never took up writing because I was never interested in it. But I'm a fast learner, so when I went to school for the film, I just wanted to learn how to edit and things like that. And then, like, after graduation, my teacher was like, because I was a class clown, so my teacher was like, "Why don't you just go do stand up in Hollywood?" And I was like, "Okay." And that's how that led from there to here.
Wow. Okay.
And I just did stand up as well. And the first time going on stage, they was like, "Yo, how long you been doing this?" I said, "This is my first time." It was like, "Yo, keep going." And then that's how I got found on stage by somebody from BET. So that's how it actually started.
Doing
Wow.
stand up.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what do you say because you do so many things. What do you say your title is? Are you just a creator, an artist?
I think of myself more of a writer.
Okay.
Because now that I love doing it, it's like I could write a full season of a show in like 3 days.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you hate Tyler Perry? Is that the opposite?
I don't right now. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. His work to me is like too dark and too like for the other side of the people that you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I don't really too into his work like that.
Okay, that's a new criticism because you know what people normally say.
What they say?
It's buffoonery. I don't say that, but that's what people say. I don't say that. Don't be putting words in black man's mouth. It's February.
Here we go.
But I understand you're trying to get your stuff to the next level. So everybody who's in your way, like a Tyler Perry, you got to overcome that stuff. Okay.
Is he in your way?
Right now, yeah, he is.
How so?
Because he's higher than me, and I know I'm better than him. I know I am. I'm better than him. He can't write like me. He can't. I know he can't.
Now, what do you like to make? So you said his stuff is dark. You're a comedian, like comedy writer?
I can be, but I write like my experience with life because how I grew up, my mom was a drug dealer. So it's like the life that she lived. I grew up in it and started living that life. So the movie that I got now that I wrote is called All or Nothing, How It All Started, where it talks about how my mom was a drug dealer and then I followed that footsteps. And she going to jail, how I was getting raided. She got robbed in front of me and I was on the bed sleep and they knocked on my room window. They didn't know who was in the house. They just thought she was. So I seen the gun to her head. They took a pound of weed and the money from her. And didn't know who else was in the house. But the whole thing was she sent me and my cousin outside to go see where they went. And I was like probably like 10 and he was 13.
Jeez.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Where's your mom now?
Some home. I mean, Connecticut.
She's
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, all right, we'll leave it there.
That's interesting. So, I mean, obviously, you know, your upbringing was serious, but you know, your first delve into Hollywood and stuff was comedy.
Yeah.
Talk to me how because I always hear this, you know, comedians always the funniest people have like the hardest lives, or it's like a mask to their pain kind of thing.
I didn't know what I was doing when I was on stage.
What was your first set about? Do you remember?
It was about a squirrel I seen. Because out here, the squirrels, when I seen, the squirrel was a fat squirrel. And I thought he was a little puppy.
Oh, my God.
So he was really big. And when he tried to run up the tree, he was... so I just went on stage and I just talked about that. And people were just laughing.
Oh, wow.
I can see that because I sometimes identify as a fat squirrel. If there's one person who can't get up a tree, it's me.
That's right.
Yeah, there do be mad squirrels in California.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what I didn't know that California had until recently? Mosquitoes. I had no clue. Like for the first 10 years, I swore up and down there was no mosquitoes in California because I come from Florida. Okay, I used to have what we call sweet blood. Relax. Okay, and that means the mosquitoes used to just tear up at me. I used to just be itching all the time. I moved to California. I didn't ever get bit by one mosquito. I went to one party in Black Beverly Hills, and I felt my face explode. And the moment I looked around, the mosquitoes here, it's not that they're not here. They're just real small. They're malnourished.
And really come thought about it, I never seen a mosquito.
I'm trying to tell you. Like when
really
you
think about it, I never seen one.
you don't see them. They're super small. They attack you.
Yeah.
And then boom, I came back. But the crazy thing is, after I left, an hour later, I didn't feel them anymore.
They're seasonal.
The pain is seasonal?
No, the mosquitoes, they're not out all the time.
No, I'm saying the pain was gone. Like the bump was gone. Like where they was sucking on my blood.
Pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
That's what that basketball player should have said. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. The basketball player who said the other version of pause.
Oh, got you. You're right.
So anyways, yeah. So a fat squirrel going up the tree.
And the people were just laughing. But then when I got off stage, they told me to keep going. And I was like, how long? I said, it's my first night. Because when I first came to Hollywood, I came here with $17, right? Didn't have nothing, but I went back to school just to get here to find my way here. And I went back to school, and the first week, I was walking around looking, and I seen the Ha Ha Calf. And that's when I went on there. I paid $5, not knowing it was an open mic. I didn't know what it was. Just paid $5, went on stage and just did what I did. And
Crazy.
yeah, and after that, just a guy named Big Mike seen me on stage because somebody called him about me. Then he came and seen me. He told me straight up, he was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "You funny, but you ain't talking about nothing." And that was it.
You're
Then
Seinfeld.
he gave me a shot, and I literally like choked.
Really?
I choked bad, dog, bad.
Where?
Live in front of thousands of people, because he had a radio station. It was called Get Ready on Radio, right? And he said go, and I looked at the camera and I was like, you know what it was, Sue? I don't drink, and I went to go drink, and I was like, looked at him, I was like, dog, I'm not feeling this. And he was like, yo, and he stopped kind of like dealing with me after a while, and then after that, it was like he got back cool with me. He was like, yo, what happened? I was like, I wasn't ready. I thought I was, but I wasn't.
So this was on a radio show?
Yeah, from the thousands of people, bro.
So what'd you learn from that?
Don't drink.
Okay.
Don't drink. Stay focused with it. But it made me get better.
Yeah.
Cause I'm not a stand up person.
Yeah.
It was just something that I wanted to try because I wanted to get in the industry. I didn't know how. I started drawing, rapping, and then I started learning how to write. But that's when I found my niche. Because I gave somebody an idea, and he took like 3 months to write the script, and I didn't like it when I got it. Even though I went to school for film, I never took the writing class.
Right.
So when I looked at it, I went on YouTube, like, how do you write a script? And within like 5 minutes, it led to this.
Sick. What's the ultimate vision with it?
The ultimate vision is to be just on TV.
Okay.
That's my vision.
As an
like,
actor?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like I'm only putting myself in the acting position because I'm writing it. And when I write a character, I want to play that character because there's not a lot of Jamaicans. If they are, they're not using their accent on TV.
Okay.
So everything that I write, I'm actually just using my accent. Nothing is proper English.
Interesting. I can kind of relate to that. A part of what I did when I moved to Hollywood was to try and be an actor as a way to like develop other things, writing and directing and all that kind of stuff. So will you wear a dress?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I got approached.
Did you not hear him say he Jamaican? Like,
I'm sorry. He said he want to make it in Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm not. Actually, I wrote for certain people already, but they never paid me. And
Welcome to Hollywood.
it's like they 50 friends, and the dude he's a director, and he asked me to write something for him, right? So the scene that he wanted me to write was a gay strip club. I was like, I'm not writing that
Why not?
because it was nothing but niggas.
No.
Like-
but you could write the scene.
He wanted me to be in it.
Oh, he wanted you. So
And
you could have played the bartender.
I'm not writing nothing gay, bro.
So you know what happens to us with great bodies? Sorry, y'all too.
It's just you.
coming from the fat squirrel.
They always want us to do that though. That's the downside of it. You know what I mean? When you can bench press 100 pounds or so, they're like, let's get you in the game.
Yo, but Dwayne, you brought up 50, and you know and you talked about you have shows on Tubi. I don't know if you guys saw the commercial. The Tubi commercial on the Super Bowl.
I sure did.
By far, I think the most talked about commercial because everybody was fucked up when they saw it. But you see a vision with Tubi, right? So I think like you were talking a little bit. Tell me a little bit about what you see Tubi turning into, and then you talked about how 50 Cent comes in play there.
Better than Netflix, but you see how they showed that on the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Now 50 is over there with Fox, and Tubi's over there with Fox. It was a marketing thing that they're doing.
So Fox bought Tubi, is what you told me, right?
Yeah.
When you're saying 50, are you talking about 50 Cent?
50 Cent, yeah.
I love 50 Cent.
And then you said 50 is with Fox. What do you mean by that? He's signed.
He got shows that's coming out on over there.
Okay.
Because they got so many networks. I think like once he hit, he's gonna go over to Tubi.
Because he has like a love-hate relationship with Stars, right? He's
Yeah.
trying to get out of, and then he has like
I think he's out.
Well, they're still doing like BMF is on there.
Yeah,
I think
but I don't think
Power
it's-
Book's still
there's-
on there.
No more. But 50 gets opportunities everywhere because
Right.
he had a show on Crackle for a bit.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But I think the problem with Fox is because his stuff is kind of, he feels, I guess, pigeonholed because if it's on a cable station, he can't really do the same stuff that he could do on Stars. But on Tubi, he would be able to, right? So maybe that would be where he brings all of his franchises to.
You know what, though? He had a show on ABC that was very good. Like, it was very well.
The lawyer one, right? Where the guy that was in prison. Yeah.
It was very well.
Yeah, I love that show.
But it was a good show.
I don't know why. I liked it a lot.
Probably people didn't want to watch it. They want to see guns and drugs.
Yeah.
It was too positive.
Yeah. I don't like nothing positive. Except, even then, STD check can't be positive either.
That's crazy. That'd be interesting though, because I mean, I think there are other streaming platforms now that are competing with Netflix, but I don't know if there's ones that just the regular people have access to. You know what I mean? Like to be able to get your show on there. Like you can't get your show on HBO. You can't get your show on Disney Plus. You used to be able to.
You can, but
I mean, not as
it's who you know,
right?
Yeah,
but I'm saying like Netflix initially, it was easier to get your stuff onto Netflix. Tubi right now, it's easy for a common person.
I wouldn't call
to
it
get.
easy though.
But the thing is, what people don't know, Netflix deal with a lot of Africans. They go over there and pay Africans to write movies. Like Netflix got a section where it's nothing but African movies, and my lawyer is telling me this. So he was like, Netflix will pay Africans, Nigerians to do some stuff.
So you saying
$500,000 to $1 million sometimes just to write something for them.
You got to be in Africa though.
No, they go over there.
So you about
Netflix.
to set up a PO box in in Nigeria and just be like, you could just send it by mail.
I'll go over there. I'm Haitian, so I'm pretty much African.
The way that Kelby be connecting the dots, wild.
We're
bro.
just one boat stop off. Isn't that right?
Yep.
Okay then. Don't we all look the same? All right. So the dream is to be an actor. You riding hard for Tubi. So would you ever switch up and go to Netflix?
Yeah, that's one of my dreams. I used to when I first started writing, I used to go stand in front of Netflix with my script. I went there every single day. The security guard got so used to me, he started talking to me. He's like, "You here again?" I'm like, "Yeah." Anybody pass? I'm like, "Can I talk to you for me?" They be like, "No."
Were you out there?
I'm gonna be in here one day.
How did they get you away?
I just stopped going.
Okay.
Then
Was it when they started boycotting for Dave Chappelle?
Nah, it was way before that. Way before that.
How were you working and doing all of this stuff at the same time?
He took.
I'm asking questions.
I do night shifts, or sometimes I wasn't even working. It was just a hustle.
Okay.
I used to like when I write, people pay me to write.
Okay.
So it was like
you were
that
work
time.
for hire. Would you still do that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I know some people who wouldn't because they say like at this point now you got to be a producer. You got to.
Nah, I
still
can do.
own it.
I can produce. I can direct. I can do all of that stuff. So, so either way,
Wow.
That's sick, man. Well, we wish you best of luck for sure.
Yeah, keep going out there and doing the thing on YouTube. I think the YouTube part might be the most lucrative thing.
Yeah.
If you could get it right and get it tight. Like I already seen your views are going up every single week. So the fact that you're producing all these things by yourself is just incredible. And I know how much time and effort and money it takes to get the stuff off. So just keep doing it. Keep doing
It
it.
just takes consistency and just have one thing go viral, and then all of a sudden,
That's it. Yeah, get the right cosign too. It's always about that.
to YouTube, they be telling me like a lot of sponsors they're watching my stuff, but they want to see if I'm consistent. That's what the email
that's
YouTube sent me. You know what I'm saying? So
That's important. All right. Well, let us know if you need me to do a guest star, and if you need Sunil to.
if you want a real Indian,
Yeah.
If I want what?
or something.
a real Indian.
a real Indian. Well, I'm half, so you know.
You're half Indian?
Yeah, my father's side is Indian.
Indian or West Indian?
Indian.
Really?
There's a lot of Indians in Jamaica.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but the thing is, like the Indians in Jamaica, growing up, they wasn't supposed to talk to blacks. So like my grandfather, he's from actual India, so he moved in when he was like 12. So he's not even Jamaican.
Wow.
So he wasn't supposed to talk to nobody black, and he finally seen my grandmother,
He was like,
and he had kids with her, and then his kids had kids with black people. So they just like basically my Indian side disown me because I'm half black.
do you ever feel like you're connected to the Indian culture?
Yeah, I don't know nothing about it.
I see.
None.
I saw recently that there was a Asian lady who made a series of videos about words that Jamaicans use that Indians developed, and she said that a lot of the language in Jamaica is influenced by India. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, I know the food's very similar. I mean, when I love Jamaica, like whenever I used to go,
She would.
nah, it's interesting because outside of Jamaicans, the next ethnicity that's biggest in Jamaica is Indian, because we used to come over as indentured servants. And stuff like that. So a lot of the corner stores, all of the stores and like businesses and stuff like that, a lot of them are owned by Indians.
They were in indentured service to the black people.
Indentured servants to, I forget who, was it the Spanish or in Portuguese, I think maybe, that was
If it's not black
colonizing.
people, we don't like it.
I'm actually writing a script. It's called Top Flight, where it's Punjabi and he's a security guard. So if you want, I could put you in. I could put everybody in that. Like
Let's
it
do
is
it.
hilarious, bro.
Let's do it.
I can be in it.
Yeah, I got you. When I finish the script, I just email it to everybody.
What was it called again?
It's called Top Flight.
Top Flight. I could be the flight. What's her name? She could be the top.
For sure.
Cause I'm like really trying to push the Indian character.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people like noticing it. Like the Punjabi show, one episode is up there already on my
That's what's up.
page.
Man,
And so
that's dope. I like that you're using that part of your like background into it, because I rarely see any black Indian mix content or anything like that. You see Indian, you see black, but you don't see anything mixed together. So that's great. Not for real. Like it's never. You would have never. I would have never known that you were. What, maybe half Indian or 25% half?
Half.
So yeah, that's crazy. That's good stuff, man. I'm happy to hear it. Well, do you want to talk about a couple topics with us?
sure.
All right, Chris, how's the border doing?
Border's clean. Our dirt
Is
has
it?
just been relayed.
I heard they let the most amount of people in.
There.
That's what I mean. It's clean.
Okay, all right.
They cleaned it out.
crossed over.
They cleaned it out.
All right, sick. All
Just
right.
swept
Oh, you swept it?
the dirt.
This sweat? Okay.
make sure.
All right. How's Kamala?
Just, chill.
If I was Kamala right now, I'd be in shambles.
Why?
My man over there kissing Jill Biden. That's, I don't know.
Kiss who, what?
You didn't see that?
You didn't
At the
see-
State of the Union, they had Jill Biden, which is obviously the president's wife,
Yeah.
and then Kamala's husband. I don't even know what his name is.
Doug.
Mr.
But they had, you see this, Dwayne? They had a kiss that wasn't so innocent. It looked. They held
So-
it for at least 2 Mississippi.
Yeah. So Jill Biden walked on up.
I counted. I was like, wait a minute, 1 Mississippi. That was definitely 2 Mississippi.
There was 2 Mississippis. So Jill Biden sassed her way on over to Doug Emhoff. He looked at her with love in his eyes. He sashayed her, twirled her around, dipped her a little bit as she came up.
It was nothing like that, but it did seem like
It sounded good.
Sunil, let me tell
He
my
did.
story.
Yeah,
guy.
but there's actually video of what
Let
it
me
was.
tell my
you
story,
can, like,
guy.
We could really like pull it up on YouTube, and it wasn't like that at all.
And then they lock lips.
but what is true is it seemed like they forgot where they were.
cameras
You know what I
are
mean?
on.
So like, you know how like, I don't know if you guys have ever been in a relationship that you're trying to keep a secret for whatever reason, whether it's like scandalous or you just don't want people to know quite yet.
Yeah, like it's your homie's girl.
That would be the scandalous part. But sometimes you just don't want people to know just because it's like you guys are building it without everybody else getting. Anyways,
Yeah.
the point is, when you're in public, you obviously have to act a certain way if you're trying to keep it a secret. That seemed like they might be having a secret relationship, but they forgot they was out in public. You know what I mean? Because that was kind of like,
I think I know what y'all talking about, but I never seen anything. I just seen her walk in the middle, and that was it. And I'm sitting there watching the video for mad long. Don't know what the hell was going on.
They probably wiped it off the internet and they did a Men in Black with the
when the
pen.
balloon show.
Yeah, and I shut my eyes in that exact
but
moment.
is
and
it
all I still
normal?
remember.
Is it normal for? Because I know, like, okay, obviously European, they're a little bit more with the
Freaky deaky.
more with like the affectionate in public. You know what I mean? They do the kiss on the cheek, each side of the cheek, or sometimes they'll do the peck on the lips. It's not big. Like, I don't ever know Americans to be that way.
They're not. They're very like, don't touch me, give me my space.
Especially like married, like you married, and I don't think somebody's wife is kissing somebody else's husband on the lips like that. Maybe on the cheek, but they went straight. They was on the lips, like one Mississippi, two Mississippi, eyes closed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, hey, if your eyes is closed, that's emotional.
Yeah.
This is why I think, would Obama put his Newports down if he saw Michelle kiss George Bush?
Probably.
Like that.
Yeah.
He definitely would.
I don't think so. I don't think Obama is about that life.
Oh, you got him twisted.
That's a
You know,
nigga.
he was bombing.
That's a
He
nigga at
really
the end
is.
of the day.
Nah,
He was
I don't
bombing
think he
people's
is.
weddings.
I don't think he is.
What you mean?
But
Obama was over there doing the wildest stuff before he became president. Once he learned how to talk in full sentences, that's
while
when
he
you
was
really-
while he was president too, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think he's about that face to face
Action?
Yeah, he about that. Let
See,
me
you don't-
drone you from
see,
a million
you
miles
don't know
away.
what a person would do behind closed doors.
That's facts.
I mean, from what I've been hit.
What doors you been?
Let's just say there's rumors about Obama and Michelle might be, you know, who's putting what into what kind of thing.
Oh my gosh! No. All right. Can't be having that on. None of that talk during Black History
All right,
Month.
you're right.
Come back to that in March.
All right, we come back in March.
Anyways, the Eagles lost the Super Bowl.
Sure did.
Anybody upset about that?
I'm not a football fan, so it's
At
not
all?
to me. No,
It was
I
a
don't watch
great
no
game.
sports.
It was a great game.
I couldn't play no sports like growing up, so it was like
Why?
I didn't have that type of love everybody would have growing up.
I feel
Basically,
that.
I grew myself.
I
I
see.
was the streets. I was hustling. My name been in jail before I've been in jail.
Really?
Yeah, my cousin gave me a jail record at like 16.
Oh my God!
Used it for like 3 years. So I got a life story to tell.
He was using your name.
Yeah,
What was you doing?
I wasn't doing nothing.
No, what was you doing while you was in jail, but you weren't in jail?
Oh nah, I was a house kid, and he was running the streets. He's the reason why like I started running the street.
You blaming your cousin on that?
It was him.
Where is he now?
Yeah, in Jamaica where he belonged. He got he got deported.
Wow. I've been hearing people put like cable bills in,
Nah,
in
bro.
people's
I blame.
I didn't know you could just go out there and be a whole nother person and be in jail.
If it wasn't basically like if it wasn't for my mother, none of that would have happened to me. You know what I'm saying? I spent 2 years in prison for like immigration. Immigration held me for like a whole year because of two of them, and it's like you can't talk because I wasn't gonna snitch on her, even though I know the situation. My mother, she don't talk to me like that.
Right.
I wasn't gonna, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
tell on her or anything like that. So I just stayed in there because they questioned the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know.
Is the questioning anything like this? Where are you actually from?
No, you watch too much TV, bro. When they question you, it's like a cold ass room because they come to the prison.
Yeah.
And it's like you can hear like just echo when they start talking to you.
That's freaky.
And they like instead of him being like right there, he's
That way, Sydney.
Like what's coming out of this
I'm
dude's
just
mouth
saying.
right now,
I'm just
bro?
saying that's like when you hear nothing
That's
but the
scary.
words come. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
like
a
he's
freak
right,
show.
like he's right on you, like not over there, but right there.
Like
Like
in
and
your
then
face.
one is across from you, just they just staring you down.
Well, you good now?
Yeah, I'm good now. Yeah, because it's like when I told him I didn't know anything, even though I did.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Well, don't say that.
7.
Yeah, put that.
It's
put that
over. It's over with now. You know what I'm saying? So
well,
you can't do nothing.
There ain't no double jeopardy or anything.
Nah,
you
it's-
sure you clean?
Yeah, because I'm out in the world, so they ain't say nothing.
All right, now let me ask you this question: because of your traumatic experience with your mom,
Mm-hmm.
is it difficult for you to get close to women now?
Somebody asked me that before. It's actually not. It's not.
Okay.
It's like when you didn't have love growing up,
Yeah.
and you try to find love.
Yeah.
That's how that is.
Wait, no, I didn't know. No. Wait.
Well,
So
I don't.
Does
well,
that mean that like maybe you find yourself in moving quickly into situations because you're looking for that love and
Yeah.
end up it not being the right situation?
Yeah.
I see.
So talk about that. So you feel as if you really want love, right? Because you feel like you haven't felt it. So maybe you're the type that maybe feels connected to somebody quicker than they might feel connected
Yeah.
to you. Bruh, you speaking my language.
Sometimes that shit is painful, bro.
Yeah.
I bet.
Sometimes it's painful.
So what has been your like, what has been your like, what are you changing now so that now that you know that that's kind of a situation?
I try to not show my emotions fully.
Okay.
Because if I do, it's like just something else happened. You know what I'm saying? And I can't, every time I get in a relationship, I won't talk to a person or be in another relationship for at least like 5 to 10 years.
Golly. So
Yeah, I
your
just
last
leave it
relationship
alone.
was in middle school?
Nah, my last relationship was actually I just got out of a relationship with someone, but it took me at least like 4 years to get back into one.
I totally understand that.
So, but before her, I was in my last one was 2006 when I went to jail, and then like probably like 10 years later, I got in a relationship.
Jeez. So you don't envision yourself being in something till 2027?
Probably.
Oh, because the last
He
one
just got
ended.
out of
Yeah,
one.
just got out
So
of
how
one,
come
yeah.
this one didn't work out? If you don't, I mean, if you're
I don't
cool
like to
talking
be
about it.
controlled. You can't control me, dog.
What would she do?
You
So
can't.
talk to me about what you felt like was controlling in the relationship.
Like when it's like when you're with someone and you're in their house, I don't want to hear this is my house. I don't want to hear that you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't come in the house. Like I'm grown. I'm saying, so I left. You're not gonna tell me what to do.
So
it just-
she wasn't. She wanted like it was like
She was
a parent.
controlling. Yeah,
You and under my roof. It's my rules type of thing.
Exactly.
So what
Oh,
was
'cause
she
you,
saying?
you were living together.
yeah.
Oh,
What was she saying? Like what did she not like about your behaviors?
It was not like she was like, well, blame it on my past, and it wouldn't be my past because my last relationship I was in, like when I came from Florida and I came here, right, and I helped this woman get the place, like get the new apartment, everything like that.
Yeah.
She ended up calling the police on me, telling me to get out of the place that I helped her get. So when I left and I told this new girl, was like, yo, I'm not gonna go through that again. You don't have to tell me this is your house. I know this is your house. That's irrelevant to me. Don't tell me that.
So it triggered you.
Yeah.
But what was she upset about? Like what did she think? You coming in too late? Like
be honest. Is
it-
it the other girls?
Nah, I never cheated. I never cheated on her.
Okay.
That's the thing. It was just
what was she insecure about?
me being around other women.
Okay.
And like because the acting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was that.
Yeah.
Like she called me one day and was like, You were touching somebody's breast. And I'm looking, I'm like, what are you talking about? What breast? I'm thinking somebody videoed me kissing some breast or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And it was none of that. It was a photo shoot that I had and my hand was pointing like this and you're sitting right there and my hand was pointing, but I wasn't touching the girl. And then my hand was on the other girl's leg, that was the pose.
Yeah.
And
It's in
she
the
was,
script.
yeah, she was like, you, why you got to be so close to him? I said, listen, let me tell you something.
Come on.
I was like, no woman is gonna ever stop me from my career. If you don't like what I'm doing, you ain't gotta.
What did she do?
She's a nurse. I was like, you're happy in your career, right? She was like, yeah. I was like, then I'm gonna be happy in mine.
I think being industry is tough to like date somebody that isn't industry.
But I love a good nurse, man. I love a good nurse.
She was a good woman, but I just don't like that controlling type stuff. Man.
You don't think there's a common ground you guys could have found? Do you think you jumped out too quick because of the last relationship?
Nah, we was together for like a year.
No, but I'm saying like the conflict. Like you just didn't want to. You felt like it was too similar to a previous relationship.
I kept
so you
telling her like, stop doing that, but it just kept happening. I'm saying there was other situations too, but it was like, nah, I can't do it. But we cool. Like she called me, I call her. But getting back in a relationship, I'm like, nah,
Never.
nah,
Really?
I'm not doing that.
What if she says, I've changed? I'm going to let you touch all the breasts in the world.
Nah.
Never.
Do you feel like there's anything that you did that you could have changed to make her feel more comfortable?
And the thing is, I wasn't doing nothing wrong.
But I'm just saying, like knowing maybe she has a little insecurities and stuff.
She said she didn't, but it was like
Clearly, she does. Obviously,
You could have brought her on set sometimes.
she was.
Like,
She's actually in a show that I did on Tubi.
all right, let me ask you this question now. As a writer, director, producer, actor, would you ever write a scene where you got to do a little something with a girl knowing that your girl would be upset about it?
The only thing, I'm gonna be honest with you,
Come on
my
now.
very first script that I wrote, Sidetrack, the trailer that's on my thing, me and my ex were together. And I only wrote that scene for me and her. But since I've been writing, I haven't wrote a scene where I'm kissing on another woman, not like that.
Okay.
I write it for other people.
Yeah.
But I don't write it for myself.
Yeah. It's also kind of hard to look at yourself on camera doing that kind of stuff when you don't look like Ryan Gosling.
Doesn't matter.
You know what I mean?
Plus, like, you know, the Punjabi character, if you're doing like a black dude with a Punjabi accent, he probably ain't pulling like crazy.
Why you think that?
I'm just saying, because whenever people depict an Indian accent in TV, it's not the most attractive like thing. It's like purely comedic.
Really, it does something to me.
Go ahead.
Pause. Like, what?
Lily.
She.
Lily Singh.
Yeah.
You the wrong.
What's her name?
Go ahead.
The little one. You know who I'm
Liza?
talking about. Liza.
Yeah, but she doesn't have an accent. He's talking about the accent.
Oh. Well, then in that case, it's
I was like, how are either of these people like?
in that case.
Accent specific.
No, I don't. Do you think
Priyanka
that's
got
true?
an accent.
Huh? Who else?
Priyanka.
Yeah, but she's not
She's
trying to do an
gorgeous.
accent. What I'm trying to say is like whenever they're whenever people are like do the Indian accent, and so it's like, hello, come again. Like nobody's like over there talking about, you know what? That's sexy. You know, you're not gonna be.
Sunil, change the narrative for us today. Give the audience.
But I don't
a
think
little
like the Indian accent is necessarily sexy. But that's not like how most people like really talk.
But listen. I'm Haitian.
Yeah.
And our accent is real nasty. And we still be pulling girls. We date one. We be like,
Of
I'm
course, it's not like Indian people. Like, there's a billion people. India has the biggest population in the world. People are pulling.
Oh.
And all that kind of stuff. But I'm just saying, like, in Hollywood, when they bring out, like, when they do the typical, prototypical Indian accent, it's not the heartthrob. It's not like the main character. It's always the comedic relief.
I mean, that's true. But today is going to be the day we change it.
But I'm saying, like, you know, Indians that
don't
come
wanna
from the
change it.
Caribbean, I don't have an Indian accent, so I don't know how to. You know what I mean? Like, it's not me.
You don't talk like that. So
People don't even think I'm Indian, bro. Like, I never
pretty
get
true.
Indian, so
What do you get?
whatever they are, man. It depends on what music's playing in the background. If there's like, if there's reggaeton, I'm Puerto Rican. If they, you know, if they're Dominican, I'm Dominican.
You ever disagree?
If there's dancehall, you know, he light skinned. You feel me?
I see.
Yeah.
Especially because you're bald now. Like, you really can't tell. Because when you had hair, it was like more that like straight hair. Yeah, so you kind of are like, maybe he's not black.
Nah, then I was straight Mexican when I was with the hair.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, I hope something works out for you as far in that lane, because Hollywood is a lonely place, especially when you're doing really, really good. To just enjoy it with a bunch of women that you don't know that leave as soon as you're done. Like,
It depends on what you're looking for, though. What like if you're looking for a deeper connection, I'm sure that's harder to find in Hollywood, right? But like if you just, you know, want something new every
I
week.
would like to get married one day though.
oh yeah,
I grew up in a family that they married, like people are married. So
do you want kids too?
I got a daughter that's like 23.
Okay, all right. She's on the East Coast.
Yeah, she in college.
Cool.
Nice.
She must be proud to have a dad who's like actually doing stuff in Hollywood.
Yeah,
Yeah. One day when I have kids, I hope that they're kind of proud. Someday.
How old are you?
41.
41. I'm 30. You know what's funny? Because you talking about marriage. I also like want to be married. I'm 39. I'm turning 40 this year. I was just reading an article in I think it was the Washington Post. It said that more people are having their like first marriage in their 40s and 50s than ever before. It's so, and I thought that was like a wild trend that like people are now getting older. And if you look at like even everybody at this table, a generation ago, like our parents' generation, we all should be married with kids and stuff
That's
like
true.
that based off of it. But now our whole table, nobody's married. You know, you have a kid, but like, you know, we don't have kids. And more people are older without, you know, on these dating apps and stuff. There's so many people in their mid 30s, early 40s that are still, you know, out there trying to, you know, get married and all that kind of stuff. That's like in the streets, but
Yeah.
my question is just kind of like, what do you think that is? Why do you think that this generation now is taking longer to get married?
Because of the internet.
Yeah, I
Talk
would say
about it.
also the same.
'Cause
And
you
with the city girls.
You see nothing but ass shaking and everything like that. Who wants to settle down at a time like this?
Yep.
But I could understand maybe the generation after us, but even our generation, you know, in our 40s, I grew up, like, I remember a time where there was no internet, you know what I mean? And then a time after, I remember dialing up to get to the internet. I remember getting that AOL disc that gave you 50 hours. And then when you got the 250-hour one, you like, oh, I'm set kind of thing, you know? But so I don't know how much that played a role. Like, even in college, I don't really remember dating apps, and the internet was more for getting music and watching videos. It wasn't like straight porn and stuff like that, like it is now, right?
I mean, it really depends on what websites you're going to.
But I'm just saying, like, even like MySpace was a lot less, you know, because I remember MySpace, I remember AOL, like,
popping off.
It wasn't like what IG is now, or what Tinder and all these dating apps are. But even our generation is still taking longer to commit. I don't know what it is.
Because they see these young girls, that's why. They see
you
these
think
young
it's just
girls
options?
Yeah.
Also, like, I think people are very scared. Number one, the finances. Like, I talk about this all the time. I feel like women are going back to that. Like, I don't want to work. I need a man to take care of me. I want to be a housewife. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And men are like, I don't know if I can support not only myself, but you and the kid and all that stuff. So I think a lot of men are just like, I'm too scared to do this. I'd rather just fend for myself, and then when I have a little bit of money, I can think about that. Because when I see my friends that have kids and their wives don't work, I want to pull them to the corner and just be like, yo, what you doing? How you want me to help you leave this?
Life is more expensive now. Life is definitely more expensive than a generation ago. But I think it's also, I think that life has become more complicated. I think it was like simpler back in the day. Like, you just kind of knew, hey, you're going to grow up and get married. You're going to have kids. Like, roles were kind of divided a little bit, but like more like the male is more of a provider, female is, you know, more of the nurturer, raise a family, house mom, stuff like that. Now all of a sudden, maybe because life has gotten more expensive, but also like you know, there's more choices for, you know, women don't necessarily have to be a housewife anymore. Now you could be a business owner, you could be career oriented and stuff like that. So obviously marriage has gotten pushed to the side, I think, a little bit. Plus, people are seeing so much that marriages fail all the time, and then there's like divorce and 50% and all that kind of stuff. But I also think it just comes down to there's too many choices, and I don't think I think it's easier to be confused. Yeah. Like, even like level of commitment, I think people aren't equipped to be as committed anymore.
Yeah, and I also hear how a lot of men like hear the extremes. Like, when you're on the internet, you hear a woman say the extremes of what they're looking for in a man. Like, I need a man who's 6'6", like 6 figures,
right,
6 feet tall. Well, 6 the other thing, but you know, and most men are like 4'5'3". You know what I mean?
But they wonder why they single though.
Some things you can't control.
No, they talking about the woman. Are you talking about the woman, right?
I wonder why they single though.
I mean,
I think sometimes they're not even single, but why they're not happy? Because like, there's women that are not single because they're chasing after that, but those guys they're not necessarily focused on the right things, right? They're focused on a lot of the superficial money, things like that, but they're not worried about how somebody actually treats them or how somebody actually like cares for them and things like that. Like, that's something that I had to learn. What I was looking for in compatibility was the wrong things. Like, you're looking for chemistry, attraction, stuff like that. But that stuff, I think, is, now that I'm growing older, that's
tier one.
Yeah, that's not as important as how common values, common vision. Like, is this person willing to work with you versus just I'm a bounce, you know? Like, I think
just, it gets tough.
Yeah,
there's something else though, and then I think it's a little deeper than this conversation, but I think it's because people are realistically not tied to religion. And like, marriage in my brain is a spiritual thing, right? And when people get married for all the wrong reasons, it just means like, I really like you, I think you're cool, let's get married. But what about how you see religion, how you see money, how you see children, and how you see your family-in-law? Like all of that stuff has to come together to make it work. But people are not really having those conversations. It's all about how you feel, and feelings are only exist for such a short period of time. Like
they're fleeting. They
like
change all the time.
You can feel something today, and then tomorrow you see somebody else that you like. You're like, oh, that's it. You know.
That's
so
the
it's
problem.
like in that dating sphere, people are dating, not talking about like the real foundations of what to expect in the future. What can we expect about how one of the number one reason people get divorced is because of finances. You know, somebody either overspends, doesn't know how to balance their budget, or somebody's really tight with the money. Typically, if somebody's really tight with the money, then they're abusive in some kind of way. So people don't talk about that. Like nobody ever says, yo, how much debt do you have? Right? Because it's kind of scary.
Right.
You know, talk about like, I don't even want to bring that up, but you have to. You know, in some of my relationships, I be asking you, let me see your bank account real quick.
Yeah. Actually, I was talking to this girl, and she was previous to me was in a relationship for a year and a half, and I was like, "Oh, what happened?" And then she told me that when he found out how much student debt I was in, he broke up with me.
Did you break up with her too?
Now she's really cool, but we actually ended before it got deep because she was super Christian, and what I mean by super Christian, like she envisioned her family going to church every single Sunday and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, I'm never gonna convert to Christianity. So
you're not Christian?
No.
Muslim?
Nah, actually,
Hindu.
No, I really thought you were.
Nah, why would I be Christian?
I don't know why. I for some reason thought you were.
Nah, I grew up Hindu.
Oh.
But Hindu isn't even really a religion, so I mean,
What is it?
Hinduism is like Hindu. The term Hindu came from people like naming it because they didn't know what to do. The original like philosophy is called Sanatan Dharma, which is just like kind of roughly translates to kind of the right way of living, pretty much. And so it's basically a philosophy on how you live your life. It's not like there's no conversion. Like you can't become a Hindu. Like there's not like, you know, with Christian you can get baptized and you become a Christian. Muslim you can, you know, do a ceremony to become Muslim. There's nothing like that for Hinduism. It's not like, it's just a way of living life and, you know, understanding who you are and how you're supposed to, you know, end up getting back to ultimate salvation or heaven or whatever you guys want to call it.
Is there a book?
There's the Bhagavad Gita, which is basically a conversation between one of God's avatars, Krishna, and Arjun. Basically, in that it depicts everything you need to know about, you know, how to live your life here.
So if you're saying it's not a religion, can you be a Hindu Christian?
You would just be a Christian. Like, there's no such thing as like he's a Hindu. Like, I mean, it is now because that's the only way people could really like understand. But you would just live as if a Hindu is just living a certain way of life.
I didn't know any of this. Do you?
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you got a new script. The Hindu way.
Yeah.
I could be in that too. That's interesting. I had no clue.
Yeah.
So there's no like temple or anything like that?
There is.
Oh. Wow.
But so like there's like 4 paths. They're called there's 4 different like paths on how to reach salvation. And one of them is through one of them is through like prayer and things like that. So you could go to like the temple and do ceremonies and things like that. There's another way where just like kind of like Sadhguru and like these like intellectuals. That's another way of going. They're all called like yogas. There's like 4 different ways of being able to go there. So it's kind of like different paths. So that's like, I think why Hindus are more open to learning about other religions as well, because to us it's just all knowledge. It's not necessarily like there's not this thing where you can't get there because you're a different religion, like in Christianity, right? If you don't take Jesus Christ as your savior and he's died for your sins, like ultimately you can't get into heaven, right? There's not any type of thing there. And you know, in Hinduism there's karma, right? So you're like, we believe where we're at right now is hell. This is hell and all that kind of stuff, right? You feel pain, you feel suffering, all this kind of stuff. And like to get ultimate salvation, get to heaven, quote unquote, you have to be detached from everything worldly. So like, let's say you die wanting to be rich. like your soul is attached to, I really want to be wealthy or all that kind of stuff, then you will be reincarnated till you get rid of that desire. So we call them vasanas. So if you're tied to any vasanas when you die, then you'll keep coming back to this world
until you learn your lesson.
Until you're completely detached.
I'm not making fun of this at all, but I hear these words that are part of like modern day yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a connection?
100%.
Like there one is the other, or is it one taking from the other?
Say I don't know, you got to explain that a little bit
more.
So
as somebody who practices Hinduism, are they naturally practicing yoga as a part of their
yoga
religion?
Is part of it.
Really?
Yeah. So yoga is an Eastern philosophy. It's a very spiritual type thing. Bikrams and all this type of stuff turned it into like just workouts and trying to make money off of it and stuff like that. But ultimate yoga is not so much about the positions and all that kind of stuff. That plays a role, but it's more about the spirituality aspect of it. So that's like a part of Hinduism. Like even Buddhism, right? Buddhism is based off of this Indian prince. His name was Gautam Buddha. And he was raised Hindu, so a lot of similarities between Buddhism and Hinduism are there because it's the same type of philosophies. Mm-hmm. But he gave up all of his worldly riches and things like that because he wasn't happy. And so he realized like a simpler world, simpler life, and all of his kind of teachings and philosophies ended up becoming Buddhism. But it's all based off of, ancient Hindu philosophies.
Dang, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We should cut this whole section up and make it its own video. I didn't know any of this stuff. That's interesting. Thank you for explaining that.
Absolutely, man. There's levels to me.
Yeah, so you're saying nobody can become Hindu?
So there's no type of conversion type ceremony or anything like that.
So I can't go to the temple?
You absolutely can.
Oh, you could just...
Yeah, it's just living the philosophies of it, right?
Oh.
So, but it's not like I'm turning Hindu, like I'm Hindu now. Like, no, you're just living that life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's not like this thing where I could dip me underwater and, and become Christian or stuff like that.
So that technically means you can be with a Christian.
Sure. You could be with anybody. It's just so I think
the other way.
I think the cultural aspect that's where that comes into. It's not a religious thing; it's a cultural thing. Like how he said, there is a lot of undercover, not even outward racism in Hindu cultures. Like they're not used to black people. They're not used to, because so there's a certain, hesitation when it comes to that. And I would say outward like racism, like it just is what it is.
Are you religious?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you date outside of your religion?
As long as they believe in God, I don't care.
Any religion, as long as they believe in God.
Yep.
So my issue with her wasn't that she was Christian. It's her issue with me. Right? Because Christians usually need you to convert.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
Don't try to make me to turn something that I'm not.
Right.
If you like me for me, not for what you are or anything like that.
But that's one of those golden rules where they say your relationship is most likely going to work if everybody's in the same religion.
Or at least understands religion in the same way, right? So I think like there's Christians that abide by Christianity, but not necessarily like I'm in church every single Sunday and things like that. Like they're more... Because I think at a pure level, like most religions are very similar at like the purest level of things.
Yeah.
And ultimately, to me, I think that, religion is beautiful. The spirituality behind most religions is beautiful, like the message, but then the actual religion becomes where people start fighting over
practices
it. Right.
of
The
religion,
cult
yeah.
aspect of it, or like the tribal, I should say, not cult, tribal aspect of it is like, oh, I'm Christian. Oh, he's Muslim. Oh, he's Hindu. Like Hindu versus Muslim, right? That's a big thing. But that I don't think comes from the religions. That comes from the cultural stuff that happened and stuff like that. Christians versus Muslims. I don't think ultimately like the religion itself is what's putting these people together. It's like the countries that were a Christian country that wanted to invade a Muslim country or vice versa type of thing. So they just put it kind of, because back in the day, I think people were more tribal based off of their religion versus maybe their country. now I think there's more like country, state, set, like neighborhood, stuff like that. I think people are repping different things, whereas back then I think it was strictly just religion.
Yeah, man. Whew. That was heavy.
But I think you and me similarly, because you're very into.
That's why I thought you were Christian.
Nah, it's just because I love learning about religion. Because I always look at it like this. The way I look at religion is like, if I was broke financially, I wouldn't really, like worry about who's giving me money.
Yeah.
Right? I'd just be like, yo, I need to eat. I need to pay these bills. So if this person's giving me money, I'm just grateful, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm like spiritually broke, let's say, it doesn't matter if it's coming from somebody named Jesus or it's coming from somebody named Krishna or is it coming from somebody named Muhammad. Like, to me, the messages is what I'm focused on. That's going to help me become more spiritually fulfilled and like give me a path on how to live life and how to be happier and how to understand myself in a way to not have those like the negatives that are being spiritually broke. That's how I look at it. That's how I've always looked at spirituality. So to me, I'm very much like, I've been to church with girls that I've dated. Like I've been, I would go with you. I would love learning, and I'm all like, I'm never like, no, you're wrong for the way you think or the way you believe. Because in my mind, I'm just like, all right, everybody's on their own path.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately, like, and this could be naivety, I think like ultimately everybody that ends up at like heaven or whatever everybody calls heaven is all gonna be like, wait, what the? And it's just like everybody's here, but it's just because everybody lived a good life, like and in the proper way of whatever God wanted you to live, and that's why you're there. It's not because you claim Christian, you claim Muslim, you claim Hindu, like, and that's what got you there. No, it's the way that you live.
It's pretty amazing stuff. Now, I've always wanted to know this question. Do they have a Kirk Franklin of, like, your religion?
Like religious rap?
Not religious rap, because he doesn't necessarily do rap, but, like, the biggest artist. Like, the biggest religious artist.
So, I don't know if it's as like, commercial. Mm-hmm. So, there's definitely spiritual, like, music, but I don't think it's at least I'm not aware of it. Like the Indian artists and stuff are secular. I don't know about religious pop music kind of thing. Yeah. But there's definitely like religious music for sure. But it's not like big business.
Okay. Well, let's go back to rounding off our chat. We still have Dwayne Wade here. Dwayne Wayne.
Yeah. He ain't married to...
What? Oh, Gabrielle Union.
No.
All right, so I want to spit off a couple of questions. We're rounding off the show, this episode. So a couple of weeks ago, we found out that Gabrielle Union would cheat on her man because she made the most money in the relationship. What would you do if that was your girl?
Is it okay for me to cheat if I made the more money?
Answer her question with a question.
I'm just saying. If you can do it, then I can do it too if I'm making more money than you.
All right.
That's how King answers that question.
My next question. With all the STDs that are morphing in the world today, would you advise a young person to be outside these days or to be in a good relationship? In a good relationship? Really? Like I'm talking about like a 19, 20-year-old. Oh no, you gonna sling. You ain't gonna be no relationship. That's what you would advise them to do? No, I would advise him don't just get one woman, but you 19 and I'm no. You gotta learn about yourself. You gotta learn about what you want. You gotta learn about who you are. I would say don't be in a relationship when you're 19. You just hitting what 18, 19. You don't even know how to work your dick yet. You know what I'm saying so. I would say don't even focus on women yet. That could be true. I would say focus on you. Get your money up. Get your physique to where you want it to be. If I'm really giving advice to a 19-year-old, I'm like, yo, you're going to have so much more success in your 20s with women or in your like late 20s, early 30s with women if you focus right now on getting your money up, getting your skill set up, getting your into good routines, good habits and all that kind of stuff. You're going to eat them alive because right now, even 19, 20, 21-year-old, they don't know. They're not even good.
They don't even know what the fuck they're doing. They don't
Not even good. All right, here's my next question, because we do got to wrap up.
Yeah.
My next question: is it true that Jamaican men do not eat the box?
They lying. They lying. I tell you that much. They lying.
Y'all just jerk it up.
They close the windows. They close the blinds.
Spice it up. Go for it like it's a meal.
Make sure nobody ain't looking. They lying. Let me tell you that from now.
That's why they stick
They
around.
lying. Yep. They
That's why
lying.
they stick. All right, here's my next question: is there real beef between Haitians and Jamaicans?
Not this generation, but probably my grandmother's generation. It was.
I've been trying to tell y'all.
Yeah.
I needed to get another Caribbean man in here so you guys can figure it out. Because my grandma's grandpa is Jamaican, and when I learned that, I was like, "Oh no, I feel."
Grandma's grandpa.
Yeah, they used to. It was just a thing with Jamaicans and Haitians. Like, I used to call my mother, be like, "You Haitian? Don't call me no Haitian. Don't call me no Haitian." If you call a Haitian Jamaican, don't call me no Jamaican.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
That's how it is. With
But
my
our
mother.
generation is like, okay,
Yeah.
we ain't got nothing to do with that.
Yeah, y'all American.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Here's my last question. So last week I said somebody who's Leonardo DiCaprio's age dating a 19-year-old is as odd as somebody dating somebody from a totally different country. Now, here's what I mean by that before y'all get into this. I mean, not a Chinese American and a black and a Caribbean American meeting, because those are both Americans that come from a different culture. Like, the commonality is America, and not a British person and an American person, because they both are kind of common. I'm talking about somebody from Zimbabwe and somebody from China who have never left their country, and then they get married. How likely is it for you to be with somebody who's at your age 19 or somebody who's from like straight up China?
How would it be?
How likely would that be?
Would you more likely date somebody that's,
Like you, or
let's say,
don't
30
know.
years younger than you, or
not 30?
30? That no, but
Come
like
on,
definitely
don't do
20.
them like that. 20.
20 years.
No, I wouldn't.
Why not?
I mean, I have a daughter that's, I'm saying, 23. I look at it like that. Like, if you can be my daughter's friend, you don't need to be talking to me.
So what's the youngest you'll go?
In her 30s,
Okay,
late
that's fine.
30s,
Oh, well,
is it? But
30,
I'm
35 and up.
Yeah, I'm not going past, like, probably she like 31, 32 is all right. But if she's in her 20s, I'm not talking to that woman.
Understood. And would you talk to somebody who came straight from a totally different country?
Yeah, as long as they believe in God, I don't care.
You trying to have more kids?
Yeah.
Sick.
Same.
And by more, I mean my first.
Is there anything you want to tell the people before we get out of here?
Yeah, check out my YouTube page. I got new shows that dropping Sunday night, February 18th. This Sunday is gonna be dropping. Clothing line called Grind. My homegirl Yolanda Dare Williams, her clothing line, and just check out my shows on my YouTube.
Shout
The
out your
Real
socials real
Dwayne
quick.
Wayne 33, IG The Real Dwayne Wayne, and that's it.
That's it.
How you spell it?
TherealDwayne WAYNE 33.
There it is.
Dwayne Wayne.
Dwayne Wayne.
Ladies, gentlemen, and all who identify as something else, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you kindly.
Thanks for listening. If you like what you saw, please make sure to subscribe to us on Instagram at MOI Podcast. And please check us out on our YouTube channel by searching Men on the Internet Network.